garden compound to a Zanzibar technician and a housewife. This was to be the beginning of the story of Brenda Bukowa. Coming out of garden compound, she tells us about growing up there and how she developed tough skin. Her background helped her thrive, changing the narrative of what would have characterized her story.
Growing up in garden was amazing. It was really amazing. I remember we could go in the stream and we could fish. I don't know, I think you know this fish, but we could have it all, but we could hold this fish. And I remember we needed to supplement our mother's income, so we used to sell by the street. We used to sell some ice blocks and some food by the street. And but what was very interesting with our life is that our mother was very, very keen on us having to go to school. So it was an issue whereby in the morning by 8 o'clock you're by the street, you're studying. By 11 o'clock she's screaming your name, telling you, can you come back and bath? Sometimes we didn't really understand what we did. We just come back, put on our clothes, put on the uniform, and off we go. And go to school. It was quite an interesting time. We never had electricity. I mean, the compound, we never had electricity. We needed to supplement our mother's effort. We needed to go on the street and sell back. What we never fell off was the love for school and having to put the pressure on school. And I was lucky. I'm lucky because my parents never told me to the girls to the boys. They just looked at us and said, okay, fine, all of you are going to go to school. It was something that, it was about determination. I remember at Olympia, I was telling myself, because then at Olympia I couldn't speak English. So I told myself, I need to go to Ramadan so that I can learn English. So I just had to make sure that I go to Ramadan. And I remember I was like one of the best performing pupils, because of pupils, one of the best performing pupils. And that time, which even right now, Ramadan is a high performing school, only the top, the cream goes to Ramadan. So from Olympia, maybe to Ramadan, and then at Ramadan, the other thing which was very interesting, and I'm very grateful for that, at Ramadan, if you don't have the fees, they will put you on a social welfare lineup, and you have to pay half of the fees. And usually, that was the best for me, because my father couldn't afford the whole amount. So it was quite, I was quite privileged to be afforded such an opportunity. At Ramadan, the majority of the people, it was a mix of, the kids from the compound and the kids coming from high-end households. So I remember I used to walk from garden compound to Ramadan, and deep down my heart, my friends were coming in jeeps. Most of my friends were actually military kids. So they were coming in these jeeps, the military jeeps. That time they were walking. I remember they were walking. So I was telling myself that one day, trying that jeep, and that's what he was doing. So when I went to do my master's, I made a bit of money. I was just 23, 24 years old, and I told myself when I was like, oh no, I wanted a jeep. That's what I did. But anyway, growing up in garden taught me a lot, and I've never forgotten garden. I still go to garden. I still go to play with my friends in garden, and it still brings out the amazing but I was thinking like it's about determination, it's about having self-drive, self-motivation. If you ask me if I give in motivation or speak as I don't, because I believe in self-motivation. So it's about being motivated. Telling yourself, I will drive that jeep one day, because my friends are coming in a jeep. I will also drive it. Not like the man is going to buy for me. No, I will drive with my own money. So I think about, I look at life as a journey where you have to live it for you to make it.
At 23, Brenda got her first job at the University of Zambia, a journey she is not looking back on.
I'm the third born in a family of 7. That's 5 girls, and we have 2 boys. Our parents recently took that this was the Zamsa that we have now for the farm. I did my primary education at Olympia Primary School. It was then primary school. Now it's high school. I then moved, that was from grade 1 to 7. I then moved to Roma Girls Secondary School from 8 to 12, from grade 8 to 12. And then I went to go to government library and went to the University of Zambia. I did a degree in mass communication. At after I graduated in 2009, then I went to the University of Oslo in Norway, where I was awarded a scholarship to study Masters in Media and Communication Studies. Graduated in 2012, and then came back to Zambia to take up my job at UNZA as a full-time lecturer. But before then, I was awarded a fellowship by the University of Zambia. It's called SBS, Staff Development Fellowship. So this SBS is reserved for candidates who are best performing candidates. So I was awarded the fellowship in 2010, after which then I served a bit, and the Norwegian government called me and I had to go to Oslo, Norway. 2012, 2013, I come back to Zambia to take up my school, to take up my job as a lecturer in Media and Communication Studies. After which in 2014, I went to the University of Ohio in the US, where I went to do my postgrad in international field. From the US, I then moved, did some teaching stints at the very University of Ohio, which was sponsored actually by the Department of Tech, they are making that. And did some stints like sportswear, international journalism class. And 2016, the very 2016, I went to University of Helsinki, where I went and I also did some guest professorship at the university where I was teaching again the international media class, where I was looking at Africa as a media landscape. After then, in 2016, I thought, okay, let me upgrade. And then I went and enrolled for a PhD in media, culture, and communication at the University of KwaZulu-Natal, where I am finalizing my studies at the moment. So my PhD has been funded or is sponsored by the National Institute for the Humanities and Social Sciences. So it's an understanding where I have to do some research for them, and they then have to enroll me into the institution I have to work for them. And for the PhD, I'm very privileged. I actually consider myself as a very privileged person. Because the PhD, the South African government pays the fees. The National Institute for the Humanities and Social Sciences covers everything. It comes to research, my research activities, all my encounters in terms of my work and my job, and also I have to work for the university as well.
She managed to overcome various gender barriers to blend in with her colleagues at the institution.
To start with, let's start with just the office politics. There are times when you want to put across a point, let's say for instance in a meeting with colleagues, male colleagues, and they look down upon you just because you're a woman. They feel that, oh, she's a woman, what can she say? But I get a feeling that as peers and holding the same qualifications, we have the same language. And there are times when women also have a point, and women, most of the time, I say that women have a point to put across. Talking about the students, it's interesting. You walk in class, and this student is coming to you, and they're even giving you their number, and they're telling you, hey, madam, can I have your number? And you're like, hey, what is this? And they start hitting on you, and just because they feel that they can have you, you are almost their age, not really their age, but probably because you're a youngest external, and they feel they can have you. But otherwise, really, being in this environment, both challenging and also fulfilling. The challenges, well, as a woman, people would expect you to act as a woman, like the way society prescribes women to act. In meetings, they want you to be the one to serve water just because you're a woman. They want you to speak in a certain tone just because you're a woman. Sometimes, male colleagues will do and say, hey, can you please speak in a low tone because don't speak like that. You're a woman. Because, no, it's not supposed to be a woman. Don't prescribe me as a woman. This is a workplace. We are equal partners here. And if I have a point to put across, then let me put it across and allow me to put it across. The encouraging part is that because the majority of us have attained a certain academic threshold, we find a situation whereby not all of them, but most of the colleagues tend to respect what you have to put across, regardless of the fact that you're a woman or you're young. They will listen to you and they'll take on board the points that you can to put across. And sometimes it's very encouraging that even the male colleagues even push the young women to greater heights. Like, say, for instance, myself, colleagues in the department, I would actually say that they're the ones that pushed me to attain the heights that I've attained. I remember Lieutenant Senator pushing me for PhD, telling me you have to go for PhD. Don't wait until you get old. This is the time that your mind is fresh. You need to get a PhD. Colleagues like Dr. Bezo, he has pushed me even when I was in Durban. When he was in Durban, we were in Durban together. He pushed me, tried to help me to get some footing in Durban. So a lot of male colleagues have also come on board and have also pushed the females to also attain some greater heights that we're supposed to attain.
She has risen through the ranks. Today, she is poised to get her PhD. A product of community work is how she describes this achievement. Her road in the media has not been easy. A woman in the media does not have an easy road, as Brenda describes it. But she decided to travel the road less traveled.
It's quite a hard road to travel. It's very hard. As women, we are always looked at as, lack of a better term, as unique. So when people are seeing you in all they are thinking of, oh, I'm going to get that woman. And once they get that woman, then they disappear. It's so hard to be a woman. And what of being a woman is extremely hard. But what I say is that as women, we need to be determined. We need to have some hard work embedded in us. And we need to also develop an attitude of identity. I'm going to travel this road and I'm going to do the best that I can do. And most importantly, it's important that we women look at education as one thing that can lead to success. Because I get a feeling that without education, we are not so. Because education is just impossible that education can teach you. So as women in the media, we need to get some form of education. It doesn't matter what form of education we just have to go. Because it then helps us to get this grounding, to get this kind of confidence, right? To just stand out and just say, hey, you can't talk to me like that because of everything. But you know what's some backing. And if God forbid something happens, you're even again, no matter how much I touch it. Education, I think, is very important for us women, and we need to pursue it. And once you're educated, I get a feeling that we also get respect. I'm very convinced that we also get respected when we have some form of education. And also for colleagues that may be educated, also just using your professional profile, getting some training out there. There's so many trainings that are out there, and I think as women we can take advantage of those opportunities just for us to make sure that we get some supportive backing, some professional backing, some academic backing, and I think it's very important for us to individuals to just have some backing and language that we can point us and therefore this is what I have. And remember in the case that we have an educational background or we have some education formal education, we need to be
Today, she sees more women take up leading roles as media personnel.
It's amazing to see so many women doing amazing work in terms of the media related issues. There's so many women that are scriptwriters, there are women that are producers, there are women that are directors of media organizations, there are women that are media owners, there are women that are academics, that are media lecturers, there are tutors. Our future is very bright, but let us not take it for granted that because our future is very bright and government has put in some deliberate policy for women to be uplifted, then we should relax and say, there's going to be a 50-50 women representation by 2050. No, we need to push. Because we don't want women that are going to hold high offices without quality. For me, I think it's about the quality and not the quantity. So I think for women, we need to have the quality, and if we do possess the quality, then we know that we're going to be respected by society. And the character respects us, then we're going to do great things, which I know women are doing amazing work at the moment. So we just and it's funny because we found this woman before the position, and we found that our organization is even thriving. That's the power that women have. They have this power to make things work. Not that our male colleagues don't have the power to make things work, but I get a feeling that if you give a woman power, she's just going to amazing ways with that power that you're giving her. Because women have been given something. And just for those which our male colleagues can't have.
She is self-driven. She gives credit to those that contributed to her success when no one believes in her.
I just look at myself and I tell myself, you can do it on your own. You don't have to let somebody drive you. What if you wake up and let somebody go there? So I drive myself. I remember bachelor's degree, I was telling myself I shall fly. And I PhD, I looked around, I'm like, who has a PhD in media here? What's a PhD? I'm like, I'm going to do it. Practically a PhD, a woman PhD holder in Zambia. I woke up, Brenda's calling the paper, which when I started, I didn't know if I was going to be a popular reader. So when I started, I looked around, I was like, who writes on media issues? There was nobody. Okay, fine, I'm going to write about it. And when I started, it was just something like that. I'm just going to be doing it just to have time. 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, I had 500 comments. Oh, this works, don't you? Okay, let's go on. And I'm going to be 1 year on 16th January. I'll be 1 year in Brenda's Corner. And when I look at the comments, I have over 3,000 comments. I drive myself. I drive myself to be the best. But, as I mentioned, I am a community worker. I drive myself, but I have people that push me. So all this that is Brenda is because of what everything has done. So because this person, that organization, that country, that center is pumping money into Brenda, I then have to push myself and do the best.
She describes herself as a go-getter who is not stopping here.
When I look back, I think it's all because of hard work, determination, and also the fact that I can say that I am a product of community work. Because in my success, so many people have been involved. My parents have been involved. My neighbors, my parents' neighbors have been involved. I remember the time that we were going to school, because we used to live in Garden Compound, and I did my primary education at Olympia Basic School. That time it was Olympia Primary School, but now it's high school. I did my primary education at Olympia Basic School. Then I went further to Roma Secondary School, Roma Girls Secondary School, and then the University of Zambia. I remember when I was going to school, my mother's friend, every morning she had a job to give me stickers and pack them for me in a basket so that I can take them to school. That is community work. Everybody has been involved in my work and in my achievements. At the university, so many people were involved. I remember my friends having to get me a mattress and put me on the floor and they told me to run the room now. In a room you had at least 8 or 9 dogs. And we used to sleep there. Community work. I remember going for my master's in Norway, Oslo, the government of Norway having to fund everything. From my flight, from the food, my clothing, my warm clothes, everything they had to fund it. That is community work. I remember coming back here for my take up my job as a teacher and lecturer at the University of Zambia. So many people came in, having to advise me, you need to do everything, you need to do as a community work. So many people have been involved in my life. So many people. Even as I stand here, as I sit here, and I'm saying, oh, I'm doing my PhD, the highest academic qualification any human being has ever achieved is community work. So many people have been involved. So many people come into my life and they advise me, they provide some financial support, they provide some moral support. Everybody has been involved in my life and it gives me seriousness that I achieved this on my own. So I did it, I have achieved it because so many people have been involved in becoming better in the next generation. And I know if you do read my column, then the column actually today, I was actually left a bit late for the interview because I got a call from one of the people that I mentioned in the article, and she was complaining, hey, why did you write this? Why did you should have called them? All that, even me writing those articles is because of community. People call me and they tell me, hey, can you write about this? Can you write about that? Everybody has been involved in my life. And praying that today, we've done that because of what everybody is because of our people becoming better.
Brenda answered this important question. Is she living her dream?
I'm extremely happy at the moment. I'm in the best state of mind at the moment. I love what I'm doing. I love teaching. I love doing my research work. I love doing my consultancy. I love the friends that I have. I love the family that I have. I love everything that is going on around me.